Welcome to the Kim Sunshine Show. I am super excited to have such a smart man sitting here with me. This is Chris Kocher with LCI Tax Services. How are you doing today, Chris?
I am doing great.
Well, I'm so glad that you took some time out to visit with everybody and maybe teach us a thing or two that might help our businesses as far as taxes go.
Sure.
So, first question that I have is personal taxes. Let's talk about personal taxes first, because everybody has that. So why should somebody come to someone like you, it's a CPA, versus trying to do their own taxes or choosing another option?
Sure. So I have a lot of customers who are just uncomfortable handling it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They are not confident that what they're putting into TurboTax or Tax Act or Tax Slayer, whatever the case may be, they're not putting the right information in. The questions are sometimes confusing if you're not a tax expert. If something's changed in your life, for example, you are a self-employed person, you've always been an employee in the past, you're going to want to deal with a tax advisor, a professional. If you have sold a home or purchased a home, if you've moved from one state to another, you've gotten married, you've gotten divorced, you've had a child.
Wow. Pretty much anything that happens in life that you're going to talk about on Facebook, you should get an accountant.
Yes. Life events, somebody's passed away and you inherited something. From a tax planning standpoint, it's really important to talk to somebody about that.
So are you also helping people should I talk to you before I buy a house or is it after? Are there things that I should talk to you in advance that maybe you would be able to help me navigate that and pay less taxes? Because at the end of the day, guys, our goal is always to pay less taxes. Like our President Trump was very good at that.
Yeah. So I will tell you, my goal is to pay $1 million in tax because that means I made a lot of money.
Exactly. Every dollar you pay is
but I don't want to pay a single dollar more than I have to.
Exactly.
So things to talk to somebody about before they happen: selling a rental property, for example. Really, really big deal. A lot of people don't understand how the taxes work on that.
Okay. Because you have the capital gains is outrageous. Now there's a 1031 exchange. So on a 1031 exchange, I know if we sell a rental property and purchase a rental property, that's covered. Is there any other asset that you could choose aside from a rental property on a 1031 exchange?
So 1031 exchanges are under the current tax code only for real estate.
Okay.
So it can be an investment property like a rental, or it can be an investment piece of land.
Okay.
As long as you use those proceeds and go through the 1031 exchange, you can't do it yourself. You have to have a third-party administration company to help you. But there is another tax deferral method out there now.
Oh, there is? Can you tell us about it?
Opportunity zone.
Opportunity zone. I'm liking this already.
So here's the differences. In a 1031, you have to take all of your proceeds and reinvest in order to completely defer capital gains.
Yes.
With an opportunity zone, you do not. You only have to reinvest the gains. And you can go through the complete transaction on the sale. And then within, I think it's 180 days, complete the opportunity zone purchase. And there are opportunity zones everywhere. There's hundreds of them, if not thousands, in this county that you may not be aware of.
So now does that apply again to real estate, or does that what if someone's buying and selling a business? Because I've heard people buying and selling businesses recently.
The gains you can defer include the gains from sales of businesses or sales of stocks and bonds if they're significant.
So it's any asset?
Depending upon the type of asset it is, yes. But those are case by case things, so we have to talk about that. But
what if I had a super cool sports car? Would that count?
You cannot. So that's not technically an investment. It's a personal property.
If it's a rare sports car,
it would have
not.
Yeah, it would have to be. It would have to be an investment because it's
okay.
Yeah. So if you had a regular car and then you had this investment car that you only bought because you want to flip it and sell it someday.
Okay.
That would technically be an investment.
So you'd have to have a second car. What if it's a boat? Do you have to have a second boat?
Boats are unique, but again, almost all of them are personal property. So unless you are in the business of marine construction
or boat racing.
Yeah. If you run a business and you do boat racing through it, or if you own a barge because you do marine construction, you're selling a business asset at that point.
Okay. That is so interesting. That's great. So it's called the Opportunity Zone.
Opportunity Zone, Opportunity Fund. But yeah, that's what it's called.
Okay. So then, so now you take your profits, and what do you have to do with the profits? And does that include depreciation or no?
So no, it's okay. Depreciation recapture cannot be deferred.
Okay.
Only the true capital gain with an opportunity zone. Now, that's not the case with 1031s.
Okay.
But it's very, very complex. If you have questions about that, you can certainly contact me.
Fantastic. Okay, so we kind of went from residential into business. So let's go back to a personal person doing their taxes, their family, they're retired. It seems like it's a pretty easy thing. Should they call you?
So it's always a good idea. I like to talk to people maybe that first year they retire to see what their situation's like. And frankly, I don't like taking money from people if I don't think I'm giving them a service.
I love that.
I'll have them come in, we'll review it, and I'll say, look, you don't need me. Okay, if you've been using TurboTax in the past, nothing's really going to change. If something complex happens, come back. Otherwise, I'll review it and make sure everything looks good and send them on their way.
So if you're not going to be able to save them money or give them information that they otherwise do not have, you're going to send them along?
Yeah.
Well, Chris, how much do you charge for that consultation?
So initial consults are free.
Initial consults are free. This is Chris Kocher with LCI Taxes. And okay, so now for businesses, I know we could talk for hours because you are absolutely brilliant. And I'm so thankful for you. So for businesses, what advice do you have a business? Let's say if we have a brand new business just starting or thinking about starting a business, should they contact you first or second?
So there's two people you want to talk to, depending upon your situation, as an attorney and a tax advisor, so you can properly structure your entity, be it an LLC, a corporation, an S corporation, a sole proprietorship, also known as a fictitious name or a DBA. So you want to get it set up properly, and that conversation is going to be focused around protecting your assets on the legal side, on the tax side, not paying more than you need to, but also not having an entity that you don't need to have. If you're not making enough money, there's really no benefit to having an S corporation unless there's something else that has to be saved there. But yes, you want to talk to a CPA or a tax advisor and an attorney to make sure you structure properly up front.
Exactly. That is awesome. Now, for an existing business, what benefits are you seeing with, say, new clients who are running businesses who are utilizing your services? What are you hearing from them? I want to hear maybe some of the testimonies because I know people get really excited. So after Chris says their taxes, I've heard so many testimonies and they're all awesome. Yeah,
it all comes down to tax planning. So for example, now we're in early January, for example, and some of these things you can't do at this point. But I have a lot of my business clients who I talk to in December. Okay, do I need to buy an asset? I need an asset in March, April. Well, let's buy it in December for tax deferral purposes. We can put it on the books. Special depreciation allowances and other things that come into play there are important to discuss before the end of the year. Year-round tax planning can come into play when you start to look at retirement savings plans and other things like that for businesses.
That is fantastic. Chris, I know we only have a short period of time today. I hope that we can get together again and have a more in-depth conversation about taxes and what we can do for everybody. But is there anything else that you wanted to share with everyone before we close out?
One other thing, you may see ads online or you may be getting phone calls or emails about the employee retention credits. Really big deal right now. The one thing I want to say about that is it's either 3 or 4 years after the quarter that you qualify in to claim that credit. So it's not something that has to happen right now. These credits were for 2020 and 2021. So you have until 2024, 2025 to claim these credits. So if you can't get it done right away, don't freak out too much about that. You can get it done later.
So Chris will help you sort through all that.
Yep.
That's fantastic. So you're pretty busy during tax season?
Absolutely.
Are you still accepting new clients?
We're taking new clients. I have some new staff at the office this year, very educated, very knowledgeable people. We are taking new clients as soon as paperwork is ready for you to come in. We can get you in.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being on the Kim Sunshine Show, Chris. You're welcome. Bye.